not like us. They not like us. Bam, 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 bam. Ding, 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 ding.
It's going down in the deal. Let's go down.
Yep.
What's up, Q? Yeah, Rhapsody album and shit. Like I finished listening to that later.
Is it good? I ain't hear it yet.
So far, it's good. I'm only
Yeah.
on third track. Yeah, I'm on the third track right now. So far, it's
The
good.
third track. She got like 22 tracks on there.
Because I was listening to it on my way to work, but then
Yeah.
when I got off work, I had my get my oil change, and then I wanted to be actually focused while listening to this one too. To be real with you, so that's what I want to listen to when I'm doing deliveries. So Q. Yo, niggas are flaming the shit out of Questlove. It's not even funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, shout out to Cavase for last night.
Yep.
So how did you want to do? You want to just list down random diss tracks and talk about the beat, or you already made a list or some shit?
I have a list.
Okay. How many did you put on your list?
10.
Okay, I can come up with 10.
Like 10 or 11. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, mine not might be in no particular order, but still.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna start in like 5 minutes. By the way, I'm working on the schedule too.
All right.
Oh shit, I forgot the BET Awards was coming up. Oh,
Yeah. You see all the nominations they gave Drake?
I didn't even see the nominations yet.
They gave Drake a like I think he has the most nominations.
Of course, because BET does not know good music.
Mm-hmm. Is he even gonna show up?
If Kendrick's gonna show up, then he probably won't.
Yeah. I don't think Drake should show up anyway. Hold your head in shame. You lost.
Well, I'm gonna look at some of these nominations right now. I know the Bob Marley movie was nominated. I'm just like,
Yeah.
of course.
Yeah, that was nominated. Yeah.
I'm gonna be real with you. I did not care for that biopic like that. I'm gonna be real
What?
with
You
you.
crazy? That biopic was great.
It was
Best
kind of
movie of
boring.
the year so far.
It
Best
was
movie of the year.
all over the place when it
What
comes to.
what what movie right now was better than the Bob Marley film? I'll wait.
But that's
I
the
know
thing.
it's only late, but shit. Huh?
But that's the thing. A lot of these movies right now are reboots and sequels and all that
Yeah.
bullshit.
It's no good. But they had good movies last year.
They did while we were on strike. That's the irony.
Right. They got off strike and released the bullshit.
I know that Amy Winehouse biopic came out today.
Yes, I wanna see that.
I might check it out probably
I
next
didn't even
weekend.
see the documentary she did.
Me neither.
That was like 2 hours long.
You know what? I'm gonna list the. I'm gonna talk about the nominees on Sunday. I don't even feel like listening to that shit.
Bob Marley biopic was great, man. I mean, what else do you wanted them to talk about?
Cause I just feel like they went all over. They didn't even like go chronologically with the storyline. Like I want a biopic. They want to do the Ray method and shit.
It was better than the Whitney one.
I mean, I'll give you that.
It was better than the Tupac one.
Anything was better than the Tupac one.
I enjoyed it more than the Roxanne Shante one.
I did not like that one either. I did not like that one either. I'm gonna be real with you. That was another one where it's like they just focus on not even a whole career, just her personal life and shit. It's just like if I
Mhm.
wanted to see a girl getting beat up, I'll watch Michelle Ace biopic and stuff.
Mhm. Yeah, I thought Ben Kingsley did a good job as Bob,
He did.
and the girl playing Rita Marley was good.
She was good too.
The only bad thing about it was it came out after Oscar time. I definitely could see that movie getting a lot of Oscars.
Wait a minute, hold on, wait a minute. I forgot. The American Fiction. That was a great movie.
Mhm.
That was a great ass movie with Jeffrey Wright and Erica Alexander.
I didn't see that one.
That's a movie people
Okay,
should be talking about more. But you know how the Oscars be.
right.
Nah, Christian. That Frankie Lyman, Why Do Fools Fall in Love?
That
Nah,
was good.
that's
That's
top
what
tier. Let's not go that too far.
that might be Lorenz Tate most underrated role.
You think so?
Yeah. Well, I mean, what else does he have that he's done that's underrated?
I was gonna say, believe it or not, I feel like Dead Presidents. He doesn't really get a lot of praise with that
He was
one.
great. He was
He
great
was
in that.
great in Dead Presidents.
But who do they talk about when it comes to that film? Is it him or Chris Tucker?
Chris, it was mostly Chris Tucker, which Chris Tucker did his thing too. He stole the
Mhm.
show, but I feel like Lorenz Tate pretty much portrayed how like a lot of like Vietnam vets was at that time. The complex nature of that. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I thought he was great in that. The Inkwell. I love that one. Love Jones.
Ooh, Love Jones,
You
yes.
know, Frankie Lyman. The Frankie Lyman story. That was great.
Crash. Don't forget Crash.
Crash.
Yeah, well, he was in Crash too.
The one with all of those other characters.
Yeah,
What's his name? Terrence Howard in them. I don't
yeah.
remember him in Crash.
I could have sworn he was in Crash. Hold on.
I haven't seen that in years.
Me neither. But I liked. I even liked him in Ray when he played Quincy Jones,
Yeah.
and now he's gonna play Barry Gordy too in this
Oh
Michael
God.
Jackson.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, he was in Crash.
He was. Damn. It's
Yeah,
been it's been years since I saw him. Yeah, that was good.
and yeah, I might watch that movie tonight. Though that was an interesting movie.
Why did they reboot? I didn't like Don't Tell the Mom the Babysitter's Dead. I didn't like the original one. Definitely not watching the reboot.
We said BET. We did it.
Definitely not watching it.
I never even seen the original, but
The original one, I watched it back in the day, but didn't care for it.
yeah, man, I'm ready to start whenever you are. Let's get it over with. All right, what's up, YouTube? How y'all doing this lovely, lovely, lovely day? This your boy Reg in the building. I got my homeboy Try in the building with me.
Yo,
All right, so today we're gonna do a little something different. We're gonna not just talk about favorite diss tracks, but we're gonna actually talk about the best produced diss tracks. You know what I'm saying? And people might say, "Well, niggas don't listen to the diss track for the beat." I get it, I get it, but
it's not true.
Yeah, but you know, with Metro Boomin recently doing this whole BBL Drizzy and finally putting drums and beats and stuff like that, I thought to myself, there's been a lot of diss tracks. I'm not even gonna hold you that has some of my favorite hip hop beats, like
Yeah,
that just captures the anger,
yeah,
captures the tone of the song. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna be real with you. I'm not gonna count diss tracks where they take a familiar beat. Like I'm not gonna count Pusha T's story of added on because that was the story of OJ beat. I'm
yeah.
not gonna count Remy Ma Shetha
Hmm.
because that was the Ether beat from Nas. I'm not gonna count the Checkmate song Jadakiss did because that was a beat from. I'm not gonna count. I'm just gonna be straight up organic. Shit,
Hmm.
I can't speak for Try. Though. I can't speak for Try, but
No, I agree. I agree. We're not taking nothing that's already been done.
okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? So my list is not in no particular order. Well, maybe my number one might be my favorite, but I'm gonna say some hip hop beats from diss tracks that I feel like captures a tone when it comes to like best diss tracks. And without further ado, I'm gonna start off with my number 10. I'm gonna go with Common the Bitch and You. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? That you guys should know the story. He did that beat aimed at Ice Cube, West Side Connection, and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? And the beat was made by Pete Rock and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? And you can tell that beat kind of like has a like an I kind of feel to it, like center for tension in a weird way and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? And the beat definitely sound like something that niggas would do like in a poetry slam and shit like that too. You know what I'm saying? And it's kind of crazy because you know Pete Rock did an interview I think with Complex Magazine, and he pretty much talked about how he felt like Ice Cube might have been mad at him because he made that beat and stuff like that for
Good.
Common, shit like that too. You know what I'm saying? And is I always love the fact that they both Common and Cube squashed it, and I even saw Common in concert years ago,
Mm.
and niggas wanted him to perform the bitch and you and stuff like that. And Common laughed about it. He was like, "Nah, me and Q literally did a movie together. That shit's like Asian history and stuff like that too." You know what I'm saying?
What movie
So,
they did together?
Barbershop 3,
Oh yeah, that's right.
yeah.
Shit.
Um, so yeah, that movie was I can't remember that movie was like close to being 10 years ago. Wow,
Yeah.
shit, time. Yeah, and then like the beat definitely sounded like it could have been like a poetry slam kind of beat, with the drums and everything. Definitely one of my favorite rock beats he's ever done.
You know what? I never liked that beat, and I love Pete
Oh,
Rock.
you fucking killing me. Try you
I
killing me
never
already. Try.
liked
You're
that beat,
killing me
and
already.
but I know
Wow.
why. I know why it was picked because like a regular Pete Rock beat is jazzy. You're gonna head down to it, but this was more with like battle for the most part battle records. Like this records are like they people focus in on the lyrics before the beat. So that's one of those tracks to me where the lyrics you have to really focus in on compared to the beat. Like he could have dropped any beat, but it wasn't one of my favorite Pete Rock beats ever. It was okay. I was more focused on what Common had to say to West Side Connection than the
Right.
actual beat. I mean the beat is still banging, but it's like if you give Common the Saga Begins beat, then it's like the beat is banging and you're not really gonna be focused on the lyrics because the beat is so fire. So I think he had to really pick a beat where people not really focused in on the beat and more so the lyrics. You know what I'm saying? So that was a great diss record, and Common destroyed Cube on that shit. And
I
Cube,
agree.
if Cube was in his feelings, well, he just got to be mad then. You know, the Cypress Hill, they ain't get mad, they just returned, and they got his ass on Cube Killer, which was one of my favorites. See that's a beat
Right.
where I love that beat. That beat was just like a regular like break beat that anybody could flow to, but they picked that one and they just destroyed him on that shit, bro. I remember when Stretch and Marbito played that, I was like, holy shit! Like they they definitely got at him. And the fucked up thing about that was that when B Real was talking about how Cube got his he had the chain snatched, and remember they
Yeah,
showed that shit.
yeah, I remember that shit.
You know what I mean? And that whole shit with on the beef DVD series when they talking about how Cube was they felt like Cube was like jacking Muggs sound and shit
Yeah,
with his own production, and the thing is Muggs actually produced for Cube on the Predator. So you know what I mean? Like they like that's what I love about this records back then, because they actually put facts in the records. Not like now where people just come up with all kind of fucking shit that's untrue. But that Cypress joint was fire, man. Like, Be Real definitely. I think after that, I don't think nobody wanted to fuck with Cypress Hill after that. Like they had to make an example out of Cube for that one, you know. And the
that's
King of the Hill joint on the Bow Down album was great too. That was a great diss record.
it was.
So, huh?
I said it was.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, Cube Killer, that to me is underrated. I wish they had put that shit on an actual album, you know.
All right, it's on you, buddy.
Yeah. That was my pick, Cube Killer.
Okay, got you.
The Cypress joint.
All
Yeah.
right, my number 9. I gotta go with Third Base with Sons of Third Base. This
Mm.
was aimed at the Beastie Boys. Now, this is a diss track I don't hear nobody talk about.
I
Mind you,
don't remember
Third
that
Base,
one.
it was on the Cactus album. It was like the second or
Okay.
third track. The beat was
Okay.
like da 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 da. Like the beat had like a very party feel to it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
But they were just, I mean, lyrics wise, I love the Beastie Boys, but they did get at the asses.
Hey.
The Beasties came back with that Professor Booty track for the Check Your Head,
Uh,
which MCA, I'm sorry, he killed Search on that one. He killed
mm.
Sir. Search when you talk about dancing like Janet Jackson line, I'm just like, yeah, come on. I mean,
Yeah.
but yeah, man. This was produced by Sam Seaver, Prime Minister, and Pete Nice. You know what I'm saying? Sam Seaver was pretty much the cat that definitely used this sound. They definitely made that third bass, that traditional third bass sound.
Mm-hmm.
And I love the fact that they used that blood, sweat, and tears sample, spinning wheel. Like what goes up must that track, which blood, sweat, and tears. That's a very underrated rock group right there. Like they do that like that jazz thing that
Mm.
Chicago does, but they do it better than Chicago. I'm just gonna keep it buck. But
Right.
yeah, Sons of Third Base, man. That's a very dope ass beat. You know what I'm saying? Fire, fire, fire track, and yeah, love it.
Now my next one. This is a one that nobody talks about, because I feel like this group, this duo, they didn't make records like this, and I think it was a shock to people when they did. Kid and Play. Next question. Again,
Ooh,
another Pete Rock produced beat. Now this one I like more than the common joint. You know what I'm saying? This I didn't expect them to do this shit at all. Like when I got the Face the Nation album, and I was like, yo, what are they talking about? Not knowing that it was about Uncle Luke, and I was like, yo, you know what I'm saying? Like this is a group that had their own Saturday morning cartoon. They were at that time like one of the best rap duos, in hip hop, and they wasn't making songs like that. They were known for like rolling with Kid and Play and Funhouse and getting funky, and when they made Next Question, and it was like an interview type of thing where they're answering questions about this rapper and how they got beef with this person. And it was just I think Kid definitely lit his ass up, and that might be like the hardest track on Face the Nation when you think about it.
that's my
You
favorite.
know, it yeah, it was definitely a different album for them. You know what I'm saying? Even from the first song, it's all right. It's like a different. It was a different street sound for them. And this wasn't even like we wasn't even in the whole death row sound. It wasn't even a thing just yet, and it just I felt like they had to answer their critics. House Party had blew up and everything, and I feel like they were getting their hate, and they had to answer with that album. But Next Question was and the fact that Pete Rock did two of the hardest joints on that album,
Mm.
that says a lot, man. Like he doesn't get the credit for those records, but um I love the way that I would have loved to see a video for that. The way that the song was formatted, and they should have had like a female interviewer, like just asking them certain questions, and then they answering the female interviewer like, yo, well, this is why we had to answer Luke and you know whoever else they would. I forgot who else they would. Were they dissing some Mixlight on there too?
No, Vanilla Ice.
Oh, Vanilla Ice. That's right. Well, shit. Vanilla Ice was just infuriating the whole damn community. So, um, it was just that was he was the it guy. Like he was like they were zeroing in, and the thing is, Vanilla Ice, he came in arrogant for no reason. We had one hit record, and he came in arrogant and cocky, like he was the best shit in hip hop. And I think that's why a lot of artists got at him because of that, and because he was white. And I felt like at that time he felt privileged. Like it was like being in hip hop is not a privilege. You know what I'm saying? And I felt like he felt like he was privileged to be in the shit. Like he was the big thing.
Right.
And they just got at him with it on that shit. And that is a diss record that again, even now nobody talks about because they wasn't known for doing diss records, and I don't think people thought at that time they were even capable of doing it. But little did they know, people forget that they from Queens. You know what I'm saying? And
Exactly.
all the Queens artists are legendary. So that was like one of my favorites.
Exactly. All right. Number 8 is 50 Cent Be a Gentleman. Um this was from the Guess Who's Back mixtape
Mm,
aimed at Jay-Z. This was around the time when 50 came out with that How to Rob track, and he threw shots to literally everybody. And Jay was literally like the first cat to really go after 50, with that classic line from It's Hot, I'm about a dollar, what the fuck is 50 cents? So 50
facts.
got at him back with the track Be a Gentleman. What I liked about this track, which was produced by Nas, was that it sampled like a Christmas song and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? Which I felt like that was kind of ill and shit, you know what I'm saying? That da 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 da, God bless you, Mary, that song and stuff like
Mm.
that. And I felt like how you get this on a Christmas song and shit, you know what I'm saying? And besides 50, of course, throwing like flipping some of Jay's songs and throwing it at him and shit like that. I definitely feel like this track. Um, I always want to see niggas freestyle to this track too. So that's just my personal opinion. That's a favorite fire track too.
I remember hearing that on a mixtape. That wasn't released on an album. You know,
Nah, what?
that Christmas jingle, like 50 just like switched the lyrics, and he just made it like his own diss record. That shit was hilarious. You know, that was dope. Definitely an underrated one. I forgot all about that one. I'm gonna go with something a little bit different. The Chronic intro, where
Ooh,
where Snoop Dogg, like that is the perfect way to start off that album, where Snoop is just like talking his shit over that beat. And I remember hearing that in 1992. I remember I had a friend that came over with that tape, and I remember I never listened to NWA fully like that. So like I was aware of the breakup, and the cover of that Source magazine. I remember getting that when that dropped with Dre on the cover with the gun to his head. And I remember hearing that for the first time, and hearing the intro. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like Like they didn't pull no punches. Like yo, like Snoop. I remember Snoop from the deep cover joint. I remember hearing Snoop on that intro, and he's like fucking calling out Easy E and Luke. I'm like, yo, this shit is crazy. And then and then it goes into Dre Day. I'm like, yo, this that made me an instant Dr. Dre fan right there. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like from then on, I was like, yo, I fuck with Dre. Like he was calling niggas names out, yo. He wasn't doing no subliminals on that shit. And to have like Snoop, who was a new artist, he didn't even have an album out yet. He was only we only knew him for Deep Cover, and he comes out, and then nothing but a G thing had dropped, and that blew up. And when I heard him on that intro, and it was like Snoop Dogg spearheaded that whole album. Like if Dre never rhymed on that shit, you still had Snoop and the Dog Pound and Nate and Warren G, and they just made that album a classic. But that intro was legendary. You know what I'm
I
saying?
agree.
Like that intro was crazy. Like that's one of the best rap intros ever in history. If people think otherwise, they bugging. That is the perfect way to start off an album. Like address who you got beef with in the beginning, no subliminals, call their names out, and then let the show begin. Like that's
Oh yeah, I definitely agree with you about that. You
and
know
it
what's
wasn't
crazy?
even a
I
diss
always
song. It's an intro. You know what I'm saying? Like he wasn't even he was talking this shit. He wasn't even rhyming on that. It's not even a diss song. It's just the intro and the way that they started the intro. And from the intro, you knew it was gonna be a special album. You know what I'm saying? Like the
exactly,
sequencing was perfect. The production, everything about that.
definitely. I always say that song was like the best usage of that Funky Worm sample from Ohio
Right,
Players. I
right,
know
right.
a lot of people say Above the Law is Black Superman, but I had to go with Chronic intro all day. You know what I'm saying?
Man,
Yeah, that should have been like a fullest song. That actually, fuck,
yeah.
that song is a song by itself. Really,
I still play that. Like if when I play the Chronic, I still got to start it from the intro.
same. All right, dope, dope. Okay, so we at number seven. All right, number seven. I gotta go with Rick Ross in Cold Blood.
Rick Ross.
Yes.
What album that's
Um,
from?
Deeper Than Rap.
How come I don't remember these songs?
All right, because we
I'm
did a
trying to
review
think
on
over
literally
that
all.
album. I know, but I'm like, I don't see like look at Ross. It's like Ross ain't no battle rapper, man. You know what I'm saying? Like he gonna say his shit here and there, but I don't like look at him seriously like, oh, he gonna make a real diss song. You know what I mean?
Right, but still, we
Hmm.
talking about the production and shit. You know,
Right, right.
this was produced by the Runners, which that's pretty much the people that really them in Justice League. I mean, always behind Rick Ross's sound. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? This was definitely like a dark ass beat and everything like that too. That pretty much, it was a mafia music track that started off the beef with him and 50 Cent. However, um, technically that was a diss, but he was just throwing shot. It was like a shot, like a bait and
Right.
whatnot. So this one was the actual diss track and everything like that. Shit, I definitely felt like it captured that dark street, that dark vibe, and everything like that. You know what I'm saying? So this is definitely a fire joint. I like this one when it comes to production.
Yeah, that was. I gotta hear that again. I got it. And Deeper Than Rap was one of my favorites from him. But I gotta hear that song again because I truly do not remember that song. Um, the Ice Cube No Vaseline. That
Ooh,
Ice Cube took like obliterated a group by itself. You know what I'm saying? And he
right.
used the bricks Daz sample, and I love that sample. Like he just wrote that beat and just said what he needed to say, and that should have had a video. I always felt like that should have had a video.
I agree.
You know, one of the best diss records ever, top three for me. To I don't. There's not too many people that could obliterate a whole group like he did. Like one by one, he was just going through each member, and I'm like, yo, Cube is the shit. He had a legendary
I agree.
solo run. Huh?
That's a classic shit.
Yeah, he had a legendary solo run. early on, and that's why he's a legend. And that beat is fire, man. Like that's a beat that you could. It's a beat that you could bump, and then you also pay attention to what he's saying on it. You know,
Exactly.
and man, that's crazy, man. We might never get another diss record from Cube like that ever again.
Oh no. Ooh. To me, West Side Slaughterhouse came very
Yeah.
close. I
Yes,
love that.
but see, but he was Mac 10 and Dub C also had some dope lines on that shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that a whole West Side album was classic. So
I agree.
I mean, Mac
Hell,
10, Mac
Mac
10.
Ten's
I mean,
first
that first
album.
Mac 10 album was classic too.
That's my favorite Mac 10 joint. I'm gonna
Yeah.
be real.
Same. The Full Life album, hell yeah. And Q
Yeah.
had like some dope production on that.
I agree.
Definitely.
Uh, so we at number 5 right now. Okay, man, this is an album we definitely have to talk about. I have the cassette of this album, but for some odd reason I cannot find it. I have to look up for it. But it's BG Knockout and Dresta with Dog Pound Killer.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Dog Pound the Killer. Man, let me tell y'all something. This is definitely a very dope ass beat right here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
For those who don't know who BG Knockout and Dresta was, they were affiliated with Easy E. They were on, of course, they were on a real motherfucking G song and everything like that too. And then they had their first album, Real Brothers. They did this song after they had that incident where they got into the golf fight with Death Row and shit like that too. When they were on the Montel Jordan song, they did a video for Montel Jones, something for the honeys, and all that track. And they had like a lot of Def Jam cats in that video. But then like the Death Row niggas came, and then they had golf clubs and just Nate. There's a video on YouTube where Nate Dogg just beats the
Yeah.
shit out of like PG Knock.
I saw that. That is crazy. Where was
I love,
security? Like, didn't they have security on the golf course and shit?
I guess not.
Yo, that was crazy.
Like, but
Method
yeah,
Man
but the
was there. They
beat.
showed Method Man in the video and shit.
I love this game. That had me dead and
Yo,
shit.
that shit was wild.
For real. But for real though, this is definitely a fire joint right here. You know what I'm saying? Like the beat, a very strong, dark G funk kind of shit. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I love the way how Dresta was flowing on that joint right there too. I feel like he was one of the most underrated cat. I like BG Knockout, but Dresta, he was just on another level in my opinion and
Yeah,
stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, I love the synths that they were using on that track too. They even did a video for that track as well. You know what I'm saying? So y'all make sure y'all check that out.
right.
If I find that cassette, I'm definitely gonna do a review on that album one day.
Um, my next one is gonna be Nas Ether, but it's mainly for the whole mood and the tone of the song. Because when you hear the beat, it sounds evil. It sounds like he's about to go into somebody. It sounds like damnation is coming. And the beat wasn't nothing special. Like Ron Browse has done better beats to me,
Right,
but just I think it was the whole the beat was more airy because like it gave Nas time to go at Jay and say what he needed to say. So you wasn't distracted by the beat. You wasn't distracted by any snares on it or anything. But I think it was a good beat for Nas to definitely go in on. You know what I'm saying? So it's like people are not paying attention to the beat, but they're more focused on the lyrics and what Nas had to say. And man, they when I hit radio, they play that shit like over and over again. Like the finally we got the response to take over, and people were waiting. And man, when when, when we heard that, it was like, yeah, Nas won this shit. There's no chance in hell of Jay Z coming back after this. You know what I'm saying? And it was like, you know, Jay was already big at that time, and I think there were I know Nas had more of like fans that wanted to see him beat Jay, because when you're at the top of the mountain, people want you to fall, and it was just, I just felt like for that time it was like that's what people were feeling like. We want Nas to knock this nigga off the throne and take over as the new king of New York. And he said what he needed to say in Ether. He didn't need no rebuttal, no answer, no another. We don't need the 3, 4 answer tracks. You do it in one disc record. And when Jay dropped Super Ugly, it was like, yeah, you waving the white flag. You doing what Drake did, because we already heard what Nas needed to say. And for me, Jay Takeover was so long of a track. It's like Jay didn't really need to do Super Ugly. Like, why are you doing another rebuttal song? You already said what you needed to say. Takeover was a long ass track. You know what I'm saying? But Ether was like, yo, like it's not the best Ron Browse beat, but Nas made it. He elevated the beat to a classic battle record, and it'll always be one of my favorites.
Interesting. All right. So this is a beat I never, and I repeat, never hear people talk about. And this is probably one of the only diss tracks where 50 Cent never responded to. It's Jizza with Paper Plates. This is my number. We got number
Mm,
five, right? Number,
yeah.
yep, number five. Yeah, Jizza Paper Plates. Now I know what you guys are thinking. What? 50 and Jizza
Mm,
and whatnot. Well, yeah, because 50 and the Wu-Tang Clan. I think around this time he has this like Way and Ghost or some shit. It was some
oh,
shit. Yeah. And so Jizza, he came out with the album Pro Tools, which that's an album we have to talk about. That's a very underrated album, in my opinion.
yeah.
And it's a beat produced by RZA in 2008, which I actually
Mm.
like.
2008
That's
RZA.
surprising.
What?
Right, right. Cause I forgot RZA did this joint. I forgot.
We all did.
Oh,
We all did. He was on his deathbed at that point musically.
shit. Cause I thought it was at first. I thought it was like True Master at first.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
yeah.
but yeah. Lyricism aside, because Jizza never disappoints. The beat definitely is another. It's kind of like reminds me of Rick Ross's Cold Blood track.
Mm.
There's that dark street, dark piano vibes and everything like that too. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, this is definitely one verse of shit like that too. Stay tuned for when we talk about Pro Tools at some
Yeah,
point. I'm gonna explain more about this beat.
that's
And then,
that's an underrated project, and 50 ain't fucking with Jizza, so that was light work for him.
right. I'm just like, damn. Cause
Yeah,
I forgot he never responded to this track. I'm
that's
just like,
why,
wow,
because even he know if 50 is a true hip hop head, even you know when to bow out. You're not gonna go at Wu Tang. Wu Tang is better
oh
than you
shit,
and G Unit. You ain't fucking with them. So it's like, yeah, he did the smart move by not answering.
right.
Damn, I gotta hear that shit. Red 2008 RZA. This is like 8 diagrams era.
And but yeah, eight diagrams is not. That's very underrated too. I
It
love the
is.
production of that one.
It is. But they use like other producers on that shit.
He did.
You know what I mean? Moby was on that joint. You know what I mean? But wow, yeah, we gotta
Oh
talk about
yeah.
that.
Oh yeah.
Um,
That's coming. That's
yes.
coming, boy.
West Side Slaughterhouse. I'm gonna go with that because again, like I love Mac 10's first album. It's a West Coast classic. I'm a huge
Right.
Mac 10 fan. It's fucked up that him and Cube can't squash that beef. They really need to, because I think they should be doing new music right now. But and they have a video for this, and the video was like they had like the meat market, and they got like the
Crazy.
aprons on. And I'm like, yo, that I remember seeing that on
Crazy.
Rap City. I was like, yo, that shit is crazy. Like they made a video for this, and this in common, and all three of them, like they would like Dub C did his thing, Mac 10 Cube, like that's what got us ready for that Bow Down album, man. And they just went in on Common, and Common said, "Fuck this, I'm going at them," and he did with Bitching You, and that's what made that whole battle like classic. You had two classic tracks from different artists, on different coasts, and that was a battle right there. You know what I'm saying? And props to Common for not backing down from them. So, but
I agree.
yeah, West Side Slaughterhouse was a banger.
Definitely. Yeah, man. Number four, you know what I'm saying? This one, this one right here, I'm gonna be real with you. This is one that you might not expect me to have on this list, but I gotta go with X Clan Fire and Earth.
Mm,
Yes.
okay.
Like I said, I almost contemplated, but I'm gonna be. They did throw shots at KRS One on this song. I ain't fucking around with no humanists. That track, and
Mm,
they were just, yeah, yeah.
mm,
And then the beat definitely has like a very like African influence beat with the drums and everything like that. And I'm not the biggest X Clan fan. I'm gonna be real with you guys and
right,
everything, but I do like the Exodus album. I do feel like that one was their strongest album and everything like that too. But yeah, I'm gonna be real. This is a beat that I can only see X Clan rhyme over. That's just how dope it was. You know what I'm saying?
right.
That's my number four.
Yikes. I didn't expect that one. 'Cause I never was into X Clan like that,
Yeah,
and I was surprised you even picked that one. I'm like, yo, I don't remember that one. I gotta definitely hear that.
yeah. And the thing is, I've always criticized them, like
Mm,
the To the East Backwards album, which I
right.
know a lot of people call that a classic, but
Uh-huh.
the production to me was just too. It was a lot of familiar samples at that time. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? The Exodus album, they just stepped the game up with that. I feel like that's an album that deserves of a classic
Right.
ranking, but I'll talk about that album one day. One day. I'm not in a rush to talk about Excellent Review with you.
Yeah. Um. My next one is LL Cool J to the Break of Dawn. One of my
Ooh,
favorites that nobody talks about. They talk about the fucking cannabis beef. I'm like, what about when
nigga,
LL was going at Mo D and Ice T and Hammer?
exactly,
You know what I'm saying? Like that's the LL I grew up on. And
exactly.
just having that song, I felt like that song was misplaced on the House Party soundtrack though. You know what I'm
It
saying?
was
Because it was
genius.
on that, and then it was on Mom Said Knock You Out later. But like he sampled the Maceo and all the King's Men's Got to Get You.
Right.
I love that beat. The bass line, the the little saxophone part in it, and he just went in. Oh my god! I was like, yo, L, don't kill him, don't hurt him,
Please,
L.
L,
I'm like,
please,
shit,
L, don't hurt him.
what? I'm like, come on, bro. Like that. I remember hearing that on when I got the House Party soundtrack. I remember hearing that shit. I'm like, yo, what the fuck, L? Like he just sounded mad as hell. I was like, yo, this is a song that has to get more recognition. You know what
I
I'm saying?
agree.
And you know, he just sounded mad. He was like, your skin needs lotion, teeth need Colgate. Wise up, you little burnt up French fry. I'm that type of guy.
I'm
And
that
he even
type of
mentioned the
guy.
song from Walking with a Panther on that shit. That's crazy.
Right.
Y'all like, yo, L. He, he was like, my old gym teacher ain't supposed to rap. Keep on to the
Keep
break of
on.
the yo. That is
That
my
that that that. that. Oh,
that is my joint right there. Like, yo, one of the best disc records that doesn't get no type of mention.
right. Two things I want to say before we go to the
Mm,
next track. One, I almost put that song on this list, but I replaced it with another LL song, which was the next song, which I want to get
okay.
into. Two, as much as I love the LL and cannabis beef,
Mm,
people sleep on how important To the Break of Dawn was as a diss track because it was really like one of the first diss tracks. It dedicated a whole verse to an MC.
right.
Like if you think about like tracks like South Bronx
Mm,
or what's that joint? What's that joint? What's that joint? Like even like West Side Slaughterhouse and
right.
stuff. Like they were just throwing motherfucking people and this and that. LL literally threw a whole verse to Kumo D, whole verse to MC Hammer, whole verse to Ice T and shit like
Damn.
that. Genius, man. I even like the original version he did on the "Keep Rising to the Top" sample, where he performed
Yeah.
on Chuck Chill's birthday party. That was ill as fuck.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. Like, mind you, he
He said, "Woof! Now you cut loose from that Jerry Cole juice. Cool J's back on the map. And when I say I'm gonna give you a slap, yo,
yes,
come
yes.
on. This is the
Come,
LL that I miss, yo. That this nigga want
finally,
to
somebody knows
young
about that
nigga.
performance. Finally, come on.
Bro,
Yes.
I
Because
feel like he
when
needs
I
to be
show
in
niggas
another.
this,
He needs to be in another battle. We need like Black Thought to call him out or something.
come on, come on,
You know,
LL, come on, drop
he
that
was
shit with
hungry back
Q-Tip
then,
right
yo.
now. Drop that
He
shit
was
with
hungry back
Q-Tip
then.
right now.
I need Conway to make a diss record on, to LL or something.
I need Drake to make a diss record of LL. Fuck that. Fuck that. Whoa.
He was hungry back then. Now it's like come on, L. What you doing? NCIS? Do we
For
need
real.
another season of that?
For real, like, come on. How many more stories can y'all tell, man? Y'all cops, y'all FBI
Right.
agents, y'all solve the
Like,
day. Talk about some police brutality shit.
I want Ludacris to call him out. Somebody. We're gonna see the vintage L come out of nowhere, yo. I
Hell
promise you.
yeah. Talk
If
your
we had
shit.
Ludacris make a diss record to LL, he would definitely come back to form.
Talk your
You
shit.
know,
Yes, I agree.
definitely. I'm like, yo, I want that
But yeah,
to the break of dawn LL.
exactly. But speaking of LL, number 3, I have to go with Jack the Ripper. Man,
Yes.
man. I talked about this track last week. I don't want to spend too much, but the beat,
Yeah.
which was done by Rick Rubin. I mean,
Ooh.
it's one of those most explosive diss tracks that it can be played at a party,
Mm-hmm.
like at a house party and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of cats use that sample. A lot of cats have used that motherfucking sample. But I'm gonna be real. LL used that sample the best with Jack the Ripper. You know what I'm saying? Like, Milky! And I'm back. My ace in the hole with a brand new time. I'ma slow it up and speed it up, and now you're gonna eat it up. Listen to the funky beat, my tongue is gonna beat it up. I
Mm.
did, but the devil did me. Come on, man. Come on. That performance on Club MTV, man, alone. Come
Yeah.
on, y'all, don't fuck with me right now. Don't fuck with me. Ain't nobody talking shit like this on this channel except for us. Come on now.
Facts. Okay, I got Jay-Z to take over. They
Ooh.
sampled the Doors 5-1, and that
Ooh.
beat is fire. Like the bass line for that, the whole beat, the horns on that, and it's a long ass diss record. And just the fact that he fucking premiered it at Summer Jam and brought out Michael Jackson, and then he showed Prodigy's ballerina pics.
Come
Like
on.
that was the ultimate. That's why I was like, yo, Mobb Deep lost that battle. That crawling joint on Infamy, that wasn't it. They needed a diss record like some drop a gem type shit for Jay. They didn't do it. You know what I'm saying? Like the fact you had this man embarrass Prodigy in front of everybody at Summer Jam. You know what I'm saying? And brought out the best artist ever. Michael Jackson was there. You know what I'm saying? All Michael needed to do was just stand there. He ain't had to moonwalk or nothing. He just stood there and watched Jay-Z obliterate Nas and Mobb Deep.
Michael was
You
like,
know
I
what I'm
don't
saying?
fuck
And
with
and,
Michael.
and he picked a joint from a rock band to go at Nas.
Mhm.
Escobar, Mr. Illmatic. Jay said, "Fuck that! I'm going at y'all niggas." And man, did he ever? Did
Right.
he ever? And then like the
Mm-mm.
whole shit with Carmen, the baby mama for Nas, and holy shit, man, it was just crazy.
Mm-mm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I feel like Nas destroyed him for sure, but Jay-Z fired the first shot, and he definitely destroyed. He ain't destroyed Nas, he
Mm-mm.
destroyed Mobb Deep on that shit. You know what I'm saying? And
I
Mob
agree.
wasn't the same after after that. Like Infamy was dope, but I felt like Prodigy was not the same after that shit, yo. He had to like tell Havoc like, yo, I'm gonna go with Alchemist and I'm gonna do my solo thing, and you do the beats. And I think Alchemist brought him back to vintage Prodigy, vintage self, but they were definitely not sounding the same on Infamy, man. I'm like, yo, Jay Z
Mhm.
got to these niggas. and this is that like this and Ether they played every day on the radio. Like we did not. There was not a day that went by that we did not hear this shit. And dropped it on a classic album. The Blueprint came out on 9/11, a day that will live in infamy. No pun intended. When it comes to American history, because of what happened, because of the tragedy that happened on 9/11. Like he dropped the album with the disc record on 9/11. We need a whole documentary just for that alone. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? We need a Blueprint documentary for that album and for this record. Just to drop that on a historic day in American history. Like, yo, it's you couldn't make this shit up. It's just the whole backstory about it alone is legendary. But man, this song was crazy, and
Mhm.
I've never heard Jay-Z pick apart no artist like he did with Nas and Mob. You know what I'm saying? Like he no other diss record that he have will ever compare to Takeover. This is his true diss record of all time.
I agree.
That shit he did on Kingdom Come to Dipset, I didn't that wasn't it. Dig a hole, I didn't even like that beat from Swiss Beats. That was not it. And Dipset got at him worse on their own album, but nah. Cameron Wet Wipes, that's honorable mention for me. Because he got at Jay on that
Ooh,
album. But this right here, this is the shit that obliterated Mobb Deep right here. You know what I'm saying? And yo, classic this record.
it's funny because I my number two is a Mob Deep beat, but
Okay.
it's not what you guys think it is. It's not
Okay.
drop a gem on them. That drop a gem on
No,
them
it's
is an honorable mention.
okay.
But I'm gonna go with in the long run.
Mm.
Yes,
That one.
the Keith
Okay.
Murray, the Keith
Yeah.
Murray and Pac this. Now I know what you guys are thinking. Y'all probably might not have heard of this track before, but if you guys have the CD, and if you guys use a CD on like a Windows or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
that will appear as like a bonus hidden track.
Right.
So the beef with Prodigy and Keith happened. Mob Deep came out with that infamous prelude and shit like that. They were talking about rappers on that space shit. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? And then Keith Murray, he kind of caught wind of that shit because he had a song that fucking Get Lifted track. And
Right.
then even on that whole most beautifulest thing album, he was talking about on that space shit. You know what I'm saying? Because him and Redman was smoking mad weed and watching IG
Right.
Magini together. If you
Mm-hmm.
guys get that, you guys get that reference and shit. But
Right.
anyway, I love this fucking beat. I love from the beat from Ty Nitty. You know what I'm saying? From the infamous Mob. Definitely felt like it was a very hard ass beat. And yeah, man, he got at Keith Murray. I love Keith Murray, but he got at Keith Murray
Mm.
and shit like that too. And it's kind of crazy too because he did throw a shot at Tupac on this track too. But
Ooh.
this track and album coming out like a couple months after Pac's murder, rest in peace,
Yeah.
and shit. They had to block out Pac's name. That's why "Drop a Gem on Them" was a single, and that was on the radio. But they took that shit out of the
Yeah.
radio
Yeah.
and stuff like that too. So yeah, man. Mind you, they never met Pac, but just respect to his family and
And
shit.
that's
You know
my
what I'm saying?
favorite joint on Hell on Earth was Drop a Gem. Just the way that it started off with the pianos
Ooh,
and you got Havoc's voice that started and
yeah.
like I'm like, yo, that beat was fire.
It'd be
You know
so
what
funny
I'm
when these
saying?
Pac fans be all like, "Man, fuck Prodigy." I remember when Prodigy died. A lot of
Uh,
Pac fans were happy about that shit because they still didn't forgive him for hit him up and all that shit. I'm just like, y'all
well, and
crazy.
now they
I'm
both dead. So now what? We lost both of them.
I'm a
So
I'm a Pac fan too. I love Drop a Gem on him. I'm a Mob Deep fan. I love him.
Mob was one of the very few to go at Pac because New York was scared of this nigga. That's
That's why
call it what it is. Like you didn't have everybody here going at Pac. That's untrue. You know what I'm saying? But Pac was still cool with certain artists from New York, like Boot Camp Click and Wu Tang Clan. So they showed him love. MC Light, Big Daddy Kane. But the rest of them cats,
hey,
niggas was not calling out Pac. And Mob was
they
like
even
the only ones that call out Pac, and they were like, "We going at this nigga. Fuck that. Queensbridge
hell,
Law. We going at this nigga."
Pac had love for the roots too, and look what happened
Yeah,
years later.
right. Exactly. Now you got Questlove talking shit.
That's smooth.
You gotta
Mind
see
you,
a few type, man. Cut that
we
shit
don't
out.
have that smooth jazz shit on this list though. We don't have none
Right.
of that smooth
Smooth
jazz.
jazz. What are you talking about?
Talking about the musical tracking is not
Right.
compatible. You rhyming over Dennis and there's some Luther Vandross kind of shit.
Make
Shut
a
the
good
fuck
roots
up.
album for once, man.
How about you play some drums?
You
Like
know
put
what I
some
mean?
drums and shit like that. Do an album with
Make a
Metro
good roots
Boom.
album.
Get some drums to Metro Boom and shit.
Holy
the
shit.
the tracking it's not compatible. I love Pac, but hit him up. It's not a good diss track.
Crazy.
It's the same nigga that said that Kendrick's disses were not even that good either.
Oh
Mind
God.
you.
Who are these people? Why are they alive?
The musical tracking is. Why do I sound like Woody
The
Allen right now? Oh shit!
the the hunger for clout is real, I see.
It's real. It's
You know what I'm
real.
saying? It's like these people just come out and Questlove should know better. Like you from our era. Like you just come out and say stupid shit like that. You know? Like no, nobody was ever thinking that until he said that shit.
Right. Talking about the musical track. I'm like, nigga, what you mean smooth jazz shit? I
Right.
can and mind you, I would never hear Luther Vandross on some shit like this.
Right. Because we all should rhyme to the next movement. That makes sense.
We all should
Let's rhyme to
rhyme
that
to
beat. That's a diss record. The next movement.
we all should rhyme to the C 2.0, right?
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man.
Oh my god. Dan 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 dan.
It's like last week he came out and said, "Oh, the beef with Kendrick and Drake is not good," and this week it's Pac made a smooth jazz diss record. What's next week?
Like, shut the fuck up.
Like, come on, man.
What's next? He's gonna probably say like he's the best drummer of all time. He's a better drummer than Keith Moon and shit. He's gonna say I invented drumming and shit.
Tommy Lee on coke. Will give him a run for his money.
He's gonna say Jimmy Fallon brought hip hop to the masses. I'm done, Troy. I'm done. Let me stop.
Yeah, he would say some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Jimmy Fallon opened the doors for hip hop to go commercial. Fuck out of here.
Okay, okay.
He wasn't even the best comedian on SNL. Like, come on.
Nigga, thank you. He always laughs in his sketches.
Yeah.
He's like a fucking 5-year-old that discovered masturbation for the first time and just giggles to himself.
He ain't one of the best on SNL. I've seen SNL in the 80s where it was better. It was better.
I've seen Will Ferrell and Tina Fey.
Right.
I've seen Kenan Thompson over Jimmy Fallon.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I said it.
But they I don't like how they're using Kenan on there though.
Yeah, he's like the SNL house nigga now.
Yeah, it's like they're not using him the way he should be used. Like Nickelodeon used him well.
Yeah, Dan Schneider's creepy ass used him well, mind you. Dan Schneider's child molesting ass used Kenan well. Let that sink in. Yeah. Let that shit sink in. But I'm done. I'm done.
He's a good host, but he wasn't the best on. He wasn't one of the best on SNL.
How is he a good? He's a good host.
I mean, he a good host for like I could see him with a late night show. Like he's a good late night host, but he wasn't one of the best on SNL as far as like comedians and shit.
Him and Jimmy Kimmel suck. Both of them Jimmys suck. The only Jimmy I like from BDB. I'm sorry. That's the only Jimmy I acknowledge is Jim Carrey.
Oh, fuck. Well, he don't
and
have
James Baldwin. And James Baldwin. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. I'm on fire tonight, man. Shit.
Oh man, we having too much fun on here. This is not good. This is not good. We gotta finish this soon because you're gonna end up saying shit and that's gonna get you banned. So.
It's about to be 8:30 and shit. We gotta. Yeah, I'm on. Yeah,
I got BDP. The bridge is over. Loved it. Like again, like KRS-One took on not just an MC but a whole fucking borough in Queens. Like he took on, and he used like a reggae beat, and I'm like, yo, this shit. And I've seen him perform this shit, and when he performs this shit, yo, the crowd go crazy. He's done this in clubs and shit. Like this is like a party starter anywhere, and it's one of them '80s classics that people forget about. I'm like, man, this nigga can start his show or end his show with this joint. Like he going at MC. To me, he beat MC Shan. Like, you know what I'm saying? He beat MC Shan with this shit. You know what I'm saying? I love this joint. and he incorporated his roots because he is Jamaican. He incorporated the Jamaican roots into the song, which was fire. That bass line is go crazy. This is why Keros One is a legend. The Blastmaster is a legend. He is one of the best, top five, top 10 all
Yeah.
time.
Yes.
Salute to him. They just re-released the self-titled album from '95 on
Ooh,
colored marble vinyl.
I
That is a
love to see
classic
it.
album.
I love to see it.
Yeah, this is always been one of my favorites, man. The Bridge is Over took on a whole fucking borough. Who could do that right now? Maybe Kendrick, because Drake can't do it.
I have
Kendrick,
a hot.
Kendrick, Kendrick is that nigga that he could take on a whole borough. Who would beat him?
At this point, Kendrick can do anything. At this point,
Who would beat him? If you would have to get Jay, Nas, you have to be those two to really to make it a battle. Because if he went at the Bronx right now, who would beat him in the Bronx other than Karis One? Nobody. Not Fat Joe. Pun is dead.
I'm tired of Fat
Who?
Joe being the spokesman for New York hip hop. At this point, I'm sorry.
He
I'm
he the
sorry, man.
spokesperson for like the Bronx and Puerto Rican rap, but you know, ain't too
This
many
motherfucker
people.
sound like
I don't think there's five people right now in New York City that could beat Kendrick. Maybe three. I don't think there's five though. You know what I'm saying? And
this
and, and this dude took on a whole borough by himself. Like, damn.
right.
You know what I'm saying? And then I like the fact that later on they deaded the beef and they did the Sprite commercial.
Yes, that was
Remember that shit?
iconic. B. That
Yes.
was
And I'm
iconic.
like, yo, like Sprite was like using legends to promote their product. Pete Rock and CO Smooth and Large Pro, Crisscross even. Like, yo, that was an epic time. Just to
Yeah,
see Karis and MC Shan, dead the beef and then do a commercial like that together. That was dope.
I agree. Now I do have a hot take about the Bridge is Over. I do have a
Uh-huh.
hot take. I love the diss track. I'm gonna be real with you. I'm gonna be 100% real with you. I gotta go with South Bronx over the Bridge is
My
Over.
Bronx was fire too. Yeah. I
Yeah,
was trying to decide which one to go with. But that bass line, dun, 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 the bridge is over, the bridge is over. Hey, the bridge is. Oh, come on, man, like that shit right there. Like South Bronx, he could lead into South Bronx, or he could do South Bronx first, and then lead into Bridges Over, and it'd be a wrap.
right.
Party done. It'd be over.
Yes. So, with my number one, I kind of went back and forth between two songs, and I'm gonna be weird with you. I'm gonna list the next song for my other number one as an honorable mention, but my number one is Jay-Z's Takeover.
Okay.
Yes.
Mm,
I mean, as far as productions go, this is probably my favorite Kanye beat he's ever done. I'm just gonna
yeah.
keep it 100% real with you.
Mm-hmm.
Like this nigga had this nigga sampled the tracks, two tracks so good. It made it seem like he was that Nas was getting dissed by Jim Morrison and David Bowie and some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how ill that shit was.
Right.
And just like there's the way how he flipped that 5-to-1 sample with that there's no way out. I mean, you guys know I love the Doors. The Doors are like my all-time favorite rock group.
Mm,
David Bowie, my all-time favorite rock artist of all time.
right.
Fame, the Fame track, which niggas don't know that shit was written by John Lennon and
Yep.
shit like that too. Well,
Yep.
co-written, excuse me. But just like that's just creative. That's just creative sampling, right? I think that's the beat that made niggas just pay attention to Kanye because Kanye always says some shit how the niggas at Rockefeller was just always doubting him. But when
Right.
he did the blueprint, it was
Mm,
over. It
yeah.
was over.
Facts.
And as
Facts.
much as I am a big Kanye critic, like post Watch the Throne
Mm,
and shit like that, I'm not a huge fan of his fucking antics and shit.
right.
As a producer, I always listen to this track right here, just as a production influence and shit.
Facts.
Like he did what Large Professor does. He make the sample. He manipulates the sample to make that shit so fucking different and stuff like that.
Mm,
Like how Large Professor did "You're the One" from Nas.
mm,
It's that was dope. I love that one. You're the
right.
man. Excuse me.
Oh yeah. Number one for me, Cannabis, second one, Knockout.
Mm.
One of the best Wyclef Jean produced tracks. At the time when Wyclef thought he was a damn super producer because he did the score in '96. He did
Boy, please.
his one classic album, The Carnival of '97. And then a year later, in '98, this Rookie on the Block comes out, which he was featured on 4321 with LL Cool J and DMX, rest in peace, and Red and Meth, Master P. You know, apparently LL was pissed off because he felt like Cannabis rhyme was aimed at him. He tells Cannabis to do over his rhyme, and Cannabis says no. So LL was like, "Oh, you're not gonna do it? Bet." LL goes back and does his rhyme over, going at Cannabis on his own record. And the thing is, that video that came out, there's one version with Cannabis, and there's one version without him.
Right.
And I think I want to say like the version with Cannabis, he was like dressed up as a football player or some shit.
Yeah.
And I remember they didn't always show that version though. Like I think BT might have showed it like a couple times, but they would always show the one with Master P. And he had like the sirens flashing in the background. He had like the Denver Broncos gear on. I don't know why the fuck he was rocking Denver shit. I mean, you from New Orleans, you should be rocking Saint shit. But they only play the Cannabis version once in a blue. I remember Cannabis on the radio, and LL called in, and they had like a whole back and forth with Angie on there about the record. And this at a time also when remember LL like came out with that book, his
Yes.
autobiography, and he's talking about how he was fucking bitches on the staircases and they were pregnant and shit like that. He talked
Yeah.
about when he saw his father kill his mother in front of him and shit. But that
Yep.
was that song "Father" on that terrible phenomenon album. That's what that song was about. So when you look on I remember my cousin had bought that book. I remember looking at that book cover. He had the mic on his arm, and I'm like, and I didn't put two and two together until I saw the cover of the book. I'm like, oh, that's what Kenneth was talking about. So you could see, from LL's perspective, like, oh, you throwing subliminal shots at me when you look at the microphone on his arm, and then you hear LL's verse, and which that's what really started the whole battle. But when when Cannabis came out with his diss record, I'm like, yo, you have Mike Tyson, who a year before in '97 had, he was in the second fight with Evander Holyfield and tore a piece of his ear off. And I've always been a Mike Tyson fan. That was my Muhammad Ali, and I felt like Tyson could have really fucked that nigga up and took his championships if he really wanted to, without biting his ear. But a year later now, you have Tyson show up on this diss record, and he's talking about, Cannabis. I want you to eat these MCs, and that shit was just so funny. And he's in the video, and he's like he's training Cannabis as a boxer. Cannabis is in the ring, and this is one of the best Wyclef produced records. Because Wyclef to me was never a super producer. I don't care about
Right.
all that shit he did with Shakira and all these other people. He was never a super producer. He thought he was because of the success of the score, but he was not on the same level as Pete Rock and Primo. But
Oh
I will
God.
give him credit for this record. Like the bass line was banging, the beat, and it was a very simple track. It didn't have a lot to it. It was real simplistic, but it was effective. And like that's what I was talking about, like with the Ether record. Like Ether record, it's not one of Ron Brow's best beats, but it was simplistic, but it was effective in how Nas elevated that beat. You know what I'm saying? Like you can have a simplistic beat and have like a great MC like Nas or Cannabis raise the quality of that beat to where it's at now, and he Cannabis destroyed LO on that shit.
I agree.
And the backlash was all of those DJs that was taking money, taking payola to blackball Cannabis, and that was all on LL doing that shit because Cannabis was a rookie, and you going up against a veteran. like LL and LL know that he lost that battle. He know that he lost that shit. This is not Cool Mo D that you fucking with here. You know what I'm saying? This is not Ice T or Hammer. This was a skilled MC that battled Eminem in rap Olympics. You know what I'm saying? So Cannabis already had that training. If you battling Eminem, that should already tell you something. You know what I'm saying? And just the shit that he was saying, like he was cocky, but he had it though. You know what I'm saying? You know, and I was like, I'm listening to this song, and then when the video dropped, I'm seeing the video. I'm like, yo, how the fuck is LL gonna answer this shit? Now he did his thing on Ripper Strikes Back and all that. That was cool and all. But to me, Cannabis, the fact that LL was doing that petty shit and trying to blackball this nigga, I'm like, yo, you know that you lost this battle. You know what I'm saying? Like it was just bananas. It was crazy. And I think Cannabis is still one of the best MCs out there, man. Like his production was always his downfall, but lyrically, he got it. He got it. He just need I would love to hear him do an album with Static Selector or Marco Polo. Somebody of that caliber that can really bring out the best of him. You know what I'm saying? But when you hear what this nigga was saying on here, man, you know what I'm saying? Like he mentioned the whole Farrakhan thing and called wifey on the horn and get on with Minister Farrakhan. I'm like, yo, like 99% of your fans were high heels. The greatest rapper of all time died on March 9th. I'm like, yo, like that to me was it. Like that's all I need to hear. Like Cannabis destroyed L. To me, he won that battle. You know what I'm saying? And LL ain't never been the same since then. We got shit like Phenomenon, which was garbage. You know what I'm saying? Goat was good. That's like his last good listenable album. All that other shit that he came up with after was garbage. Garbage. And he had big hit records. He was still dropping hits like, Love You Better in Paradise. But them albums, I couldn't listen to none of that shit. You know what I'm saying? I remember my homeboy he used to get them shits on bootleg and then give it to me. And I'm like, yo, I listen to that shit. I'm like, bro, this shit is going in the trash, B. Bootleg or retail, I was not keeping that shit. Fuck no. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, LL ain't been the same since that Cannabis battle, man. Like and they made up since then and shit. But to me, I always felt like there was like some underlying industry bullshit that was going on because LL had these DJs not play Cannabis on the radio. I just think that was fucked up because you know that be the bigger man and since you the veteran and just come back better. You know what I'm saying? Like don't pay the radio DJs to block this nigga from shining because you already done shine. You have to pay your dues in the industry. You know what I'm saying? When he was in Crush Groove, he wasn't the star in Crush Groove. You know what I'm saying? You had Run DMC was stars in him at that time. You had to pay your dues just like Cannabis did. So for him to do some petty shit, I ain't like all that. But to me, I felt like Cannabis had a classic disc record.
Definitely classic. I have one honorable mention. To be real with you, um, I gotta go with MC Shan Juice Crew Law.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, MC Shan on this list. Interesting. You know, this came out from the Born to Be Wild album, second album, which I feel like that's his best album. To be real with you, and probably Marley Marl, some of Marley Marl's best work and shit like that too. And what many people don't know, this was actually the response to Boogie Down Productions like South Bronx and Bridges Over and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And just all of his haters, pretty much and shit too. And it's kind of crazy because the beat has been used by a lot of people. A lot of people use that James Brown sample. Bobby Brown also used that for the Tap Into My Heart joint. That was supposed to be on his unreleased album.
Right.
That Mystic Voice,
Right.
that dum bum bum bum.
Mm-hmm.
And I always love that production, that jungle influence production that Marley Marl was doing.
Right.
and shit like that too. Especially for that Born to Be Wild album. Because say what you want about Shan and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? I love that album. That's probably the only album I can say that's great. And that's mostly just due to like the chemistry between Shan and Marty Marl.
You
That
wasn't a fan
was,
of Down by Law?
huh?
You wasn't a fan of Down by Law?
I respect that album,
Uh,
but nah, I wasn't a big fan of that.
yeah.
I wish they would have put that song. There was a couple of songs that I wish they would have, like they had a song called Cocaine,
Right.
stuff like, and they had I wish they would have put the original version of Jane Stop This Crazy Thing,
Hmm.
but they had to, that song had the Jetson sample, but
Oh wow.
the album version, they
Right.
actually had to redo it without the
Yeah.
sample. I don't care for the album version too much, you know.
Hannah Barbera was gonna sue them, right?
Yeah, they
Yeah.
almost sued them.
That's crazy.
But yeah, that Juice Crew Law joint, I mean, classic. That's my honorable mention. That was almost my number one too. But I
But,
can't go with
like you know what would have been crazier if they had the whole Juice Crew on that shit.
Yeah, but
You know what I'm
see,
saying? Because when you think about it now, you had a versus with Kane versus Karis One.
right.
You know what I'm saying? That would have been crazy to have all the Juice Crew members on that.
But Shan didn't want to fuck with the new Juice Crew acts. He didn't want to fuck with them.
Yeah.
I mean,
Man,
that's on King. That's on Shan.
that's fucked up though. Because he could have did a lot of great music with them, with Master Ace and them.
Right, because he was almost on a symphony too. But
Right.
he said he didn't want to be on a symphony. But
What?
you want to you want to do all this whack shit on that third album that played against
What's that?
Shan
What's the
album.
album that he? What's the album that we reviewed and he had like his girlfriend and the son on the cover? I didn't like that shit at all.
Played against Shan. Yeah.
MC Shan is a legendary MC, but I don't like none of his albums. None. Just like Craig G. Love Craig G. I don't like none of his albums though.
That's the second Craig G album was okay. It was a vast improvement over the first, but it wasn't a great album either.
Right.
But I understand what you're saying because Shan, he made a lot of mistakes in his career.
Yeah. That was a mistake. He should have definitely been on that symphony joint.
Right, and they replaced him, I think, with Big Daddy Kane, and the rest is history.
Yeah. Right. Wow.
Yeah,
I
that's
wonder if he
my that's
regret
my,
that shit, yo.
you said what?
I wonder if he regret not being on that posse cut.
I mean, he lost almost all his teeth. Oh shit.
He would have killed that joint. He would have killed it for sure. I could definitely hear him on that beat.
Right.
Mm. That's a hip hop what if.
Yeah. But yeah, that's my list right there.
This was great, man.
Fire.
And I love Kendrick. I love that. I don't know. I think because I heard it, the Not Like Us joint so often that it's like the beat is in my head now.
Same.
You know what I'm saying? And it's not it's like when I hear that beat, I think of fucking YG. I'm like, because YG used mustard like too much.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like this would be a normal beat on any YG album, but Kendrick again, being the caliber MC that he is, elevated the beat to what it is now.
Right. I agree.
And I love it. I think it's like one of his best diss songs ever.
Yeah, that Not Like Us track. I mean, I still bump that. Hell, even AJ loves that song. He be bumping that shit a lot every time I be to a spot.
That shit is a banger.
And you know when that shit's played in weddings, it's a rap. It's a rap.
Right? I saw that shit. I sent you the video, right? With the Asian couple. Yo, that shit was crazy.
I'm like, Drake, you lost.
Yeah, you had an Asian couple get married and at their reception, they're bumping that and they dancing. I'm like, yo, that's wild, man.
Definitely.
And they know the words to that shit.
Exactly. All right, that's all the time I have for this episode. So I'm definitely gonna work on a worst diss songs, probably in the next 2 to 3 weeks, and shit like that too. I was like, I might as well do a worst diss songs because there's been some trash diss tracks over the years. So this Sunday, I don't know the time yet. 'Cause I got my schedule. It's going to be the Erykah Badu's New America album.
Yes.
I think that came out in 08, 07, one of them years. 07, that was a year. So I really can't wait to talk about that one because I don't see no one talking about that album.
Mhm.
And that's all I'm going to talk about for right now. Anything you want to say before we head out?
Let's go, Knicks. Knicks in 6, about to beat Indiana's ass tonight. Let's go.
Definitely. Shout out to the Knicks. Um, Also, you got my text about the Belle Biv DeVoe behind the music, right?
Did you watch it already?
Yeah, there was actually some shit I actually never knew. Like I never knew.
I ain't see it yet though. I ain't see it yet.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep my mouth shut. I'm gonna keep my mouth
All right.
shut. But I was actually impressed with this one. I was like, okay, and they actually talk about the Hootie Mac album too.
Oh God. They had to,
Right.
right?
Because you would think with behind the music they would just skim
Right.
through that shit.
Right.
They actually,
Don't just talk about Poison and then we're gonna skip the remix album and
yeah,
skip over Hootie
yeah.
Man.
I was
Shit.
like, nah.
Fuck.
Sound like that damn buzzer from Looney Tunes. No. But anyway, yeah, this has been a very fun list.
That's the only BBD album I ever threw away was Hootie Man because it was that bad.
Shit. Yeah, I think I just got the remix album and the Poison. Now I'm good.
I kept a Poison, the remix album, and the last album they dropped, the Three Stripes. That was actually good.
That was decent. That was
Yeah,
alright.
I enjoyed that one.
But yeah, man, appreciate this try as usual, man. I'm about to go do some deliveries, make some money before it rains
Alright.
out here. But y'all be safe. Peace.
Yeah. Peace.